Welcome to Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. Make your foot the foot that counts. In the vast expanse of human experience, where joy and sorrow intertwine, lies a deeper call, a whisper soft, urging hearts to align. Not just in mourning the numbers that fade, in silence, into the night. To understand the echoes they leave, in souls they ignite. It's in the quiet aftermath, in the rubble and the ruin, that the true test of our humanity begins its blooming. The inquiry into the collective triggers and emotional reactions following the announcement on Wikipedia of, as of February 29, 2024, over 30,000 people, 29,782 Palestinian and 1,410 Israelis, have been killed since Saturday, October 7, 2023, with a majority being children and women. Touches upon complex psychological and social dynamics. Social scientists, including psychologists, sociologists, and anthropologists, study for various think tanks the following responses to better understand how societies cope with tragedy and what can be done to support healing and resilience. Herein is a general understanding of the potential psychological and social responses to such tragic news, grounded in social science principles. When the public is informed of a large-scale tragedy, especially one involving significant loss of life and with a high number of vulnerable victims such as children and women, several collective triggers and emotional responses can be observed. Empathy and compassion, hearing about the loss of lives, particularly of those perceived as innocent or vulnerable, often triggers a deep sense of empathy and compassion in people. This emotional response can lead to a collective mourning, as well as a desire to help through donations, support to the victims' families, or advocacy for change. Fear and anxiety, such news can also trigger widespread fear and anxiety. People might start worrying about their own safety and the safety of their loved ones, especially if they perceive a potential threat to themselves or believe that a similar event could occur in their community. Anger and outrage. Anger is another common reaction, particularly if the tragedy is perceived as having been preventable or if there is someone to blame, such as a perpetrator or a failing by authorities or institutions. This can lead to calls for justice, changes in policy, or even retaliation. Desensitization or apathy, repeated exposure to large-scale tragedies, especially in a highly connected world where news of such events is frequent, can lead to desensitization for some individuals. This means that over time, people may become less emotionally affected by such news, leading to a certain level of apathy or disengagement. Solidarity and collective action. On a more positive note, the shared grief and empathy arising from such tragedies can foster a sense of community and solidarity among people, both locally and globally. This can lead to collective action aimed at supporting the victims, preventing future tragedies, or addressing the root causes of the event. Psychological trauma. For individuals with a personal connection to the tragedy or those who are particularly empathetic, hearing about such events can cause psychological trauma or exacerbate existing mental health issues. This highlights the importance of psychological support and mental health resources in the aftermath of such events. The impact of such tragic news on the collective psyche can vary significantly depending on cultural, social, and individual factors, including how the news is presented by the media, the prevailing societal values and norms, and the psychological resilience of the individuals receiving the news. Let our compassion be a beacon, a light that guides the way through the darkest nights, into the promise of the day. For every tear that's shed, for every heart that aches, is a call to our own spirit, to heal, to mend what breaks. Much appreciation to you for giving of your time with us at Motivation at Hand. To know is to know how. We trust you will come back soon.